Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Bill Tucci.
Behold his mighty hand.
Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang.
Just want to manage expectations.
Weird.
This is the worst.
That was lame. Hello, old bean.
So,
Oh,
why
it
is
Friday.
today Thursday Night Live?
It's not Thursday Night Live. We don't have a Friday Night Live. It's a special edition. Welcome, everybody, to a special Friday Night Live. Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to say it when Jennifer comes on. I really am just a humble and mere cartoonist because Jennifer is on the on Pacific time. I think she lives in Idaho. I thought she was on Mountain Time. So I thought she was 2 hours away. She's actually 3 hours away. So I made all the press releases and everything stating that we are going live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. But it's not. So what to do? So I just scurry. Do I push this whole thing back an hour? But I know people want to pledge on things because some things are limited and stuff. So I'm going to have to beg Jennifer to forgive me. And I think I'm driving her crazy.
You know, the great thing is that she's not alone in that.
That's true. That is true. So hello, everybody. Marcus Killigrew, good to see you, my friend. Of course, James Sanchez, good to see you as always, my friend. Spaceman, good to see you too. Mark Zutkoff, good to see you. And, well, I got some good news. I'm going to have to present this because I just went live with it, with the campaign. And let me see if I can share my screen, old bean. I had to text Jennifer, message Jennifer on Facebook. But here we go. Congratulations. We've already hit our goal, $500. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. We got a lot of great perks going on here with this campaign. And in the meantime, let's just go live with my old bean, if you don't mind. I'm going to go live with the video.
Let's do it.
Video. Then we'll welcome Jennifer on. She's probably not even ready.
And after that, you can introduce me.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So let's do the video, and then we'll introduce you, all right? Thank you, pal, for coming in. All right, hang on. Hello, everyone. Billy Tucci here, and I am so proud to announce Crusade Comics' latest project, the Rocketeer Pavlichenko Special Art Edition. Rocketeer Pavlichenko is a full-color 32-page special featuring my 6-page story that was originally published in the book Comics for Ukraine, Sunflower Seeds, benefiting the refugees of the ongoing Russia-Ukrainian war via crowdfunding platform Zoop and the charity organization Operation USA. In Rocketeer Pavlichenko, our hero, Cliff Secord, encounters the real-life Ukrainian sniper Lyudmila Pavlichenko in the Crimean Mountains. Lyudmila was credited with over 300 kills during World War II, making her the most successful female sniper in recorded history. And as you'll find out, she's going to have to put all those skills to test to save our hero. This book will feature the original story, plus pages of never-before-published concept artwork, including rough layouts, pencils, inks, script, and bios. So please, join us on this fantastic little adventure. Being involved in this project was truly an honor. I'd like to thank Jennifer Stevens Bawcum for her encouragement, and I'd also like to thank and congratulate Scott Dunbar and all the creators who contributed to Sunflower Seeds on winning the Eisner Award for Best Anthology Book. So thank you. And once again, it's the Rocketeer to the rescue. So many screens open. So many gosh darn screens open. Let me move this. So pretty cool. The video, we got a nice little video, Jeff. But ladies and gentlemen, if I may be so bold, I'd like to introduce you all to the one, the only, Mr. Jeffrey Curtis Vaughn. Jeff is the president of Gemstone Publishing, the guru, the man behind the curtain of the Bob Overstreet Price Guide to Comics. And welcome, Jeff, and my dear friend and collaborator and editor, pal, just
sounding board and occasional dialogue coach.
I am saying
thank you for having me, Billy. As you know, I'm really excited about this because I know, hello JP, I know how long you've wanted to do the Rocketeer.
Yes,
this is not something that a lot of our pals know just how much you wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you not only did it, you did it in a way that captured a similar frame of storytelling that you did in Sergeant Rocklaw's Battalion in terms of injecting a fictional character into a real world setting. It's phenomenal. It's a great piece. And I think that people are going to love, I mean, I'm a process junkie, so I love knowing how this stuff worked.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited because other people are going to get to see the pencils and the inks on this and even your script. But why don't you talk a little bit about what drew you, so to speak, to the Rocketeer event initially, and not just talking about Dave's wonderful artwork, but the spirit of it and what grabbed you about it?
Yeah, so how did I discover the Rocketeer? I had discovered the Rocketeer, I'd have to say in college. Once, around the same time I discovered Mark Schultz's two at Xenozoic Tales.
Yeah.
Now, the Rocketeer had been out since '82. I think the Rocketeer's debut with Pacific Comics was in April of 1982. And I was just blown away. For those who know me or don't know my story, I read comics in junior high school, 6th grade on to like maybe 8th, 9th grade. But the better the more adept I got at art, at drawing, the farther and farther I moved away from comics because I love them so much. But here I'm looking at Joe Kubert, I'm looking at Walter Simonson, I'm looking at George Perez, and I'm like, I could never do this. I can't do this. So what comes along is a friend of mine in school brings in an Amazing Spider-Man number 300. And that's with the Todd McFarlane, with that iconic cover. And I adored it. I loved it. I loved the kinetic energy in it. It looked like he was having so much fun doing it.
You loved how stylized it was, yet still telling a story.
Yeah, 100%. And it didn't.
Shrink the campaign for just a minute, Billy.
Say again?
Shrink the campaign for just a minute. Bring it back up to you and me.
Sure.
Even though we got to say you are at 11:26 already.
Oh, excellent! Thank you. Thank
you. All right,
guys.
I just want to say, Chris Green asked, "Is this new Rocketeer?" I want to show people what this appeared in.
Yes, thank you.
This is Comics for Ukraine. It was an anthology, as Billy pointed out. It's an Eisner-winning anthology. It's got some really great stuff in there, including new Star Slammers, Usagi Yojimbo, and American Flag by their respective creators. And Billy's Rocketeer story is in there. It's a short piece, but what's really cool about it is it's really got the kinetic energy of a Rocketeer story and the same sort of tonal approach that you would find in a true Dave Stevens piece, and injecting the Rocketeer into a real world setting with a real world character, which you sort of made sort of one of your great tactics with Sergeant Rock: The Lost Battalion.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so excited for you to get this. When you called me and said you got to do this, and I said, you got to find a way for people to see all the work you put into it. And so now you're doing that,
Yes.
which is really great. This is a standalone comic that has the original story as published, the pencils, inks, and script. So the whole development of this thing.
Yeah. Plus my concept roughs.
You're going to have some editorial matter in it, and it's just going to be a one shot, and it is supported by Dave, and it's supported by Dave's sister.
Yep. Well, and speaking of Dave's sister, if I may be so bold, I'd like to introduce everyone to Jennifer Bawcum, Dave Stevens' sister, and the trustee of the Rocketeer Trust, who, thanks to her, if it wasn't for her blessing, none of this would happen. So, hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Well, I am a cartoonist, so I'm not the I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. And for those of you guys don't know, and thanks, Jen. I hope I heard you along. Jennifer has family coming in today, so originally we were supposed to launch
just for dinner. Yeah.
Originally we were supposed to launch this on Thursday Night Live yesterday, but me thinking and getting nervous as I do all the time, like, oh God, I could really use another day to send another press release to let people know about it. And I did that, but Jen's like, wait a minute, but we're launching on Thursday. I confused her, and I'm sorry for doing this to you, because I just finished a deadline. We're launching our next big She campaign in a few weeks. I got Baltimore Comic-Con coming up. I just, you know how it is. Debbie and I seem to be doing with our little publishing company. We are doing the jobs of 10 people. And sometimes things fall through the cracks, like me actually getting my dates and time set straight, because I did want to launch it. And Jennifer, now, where do you live exactly?
I'm actually in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So
Idaho, but Idaho is on Pacific Standard Time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that. See, I assumed Idaho was on.
Billy, let's say Pacific Time.
It's just Pacific Time.
It's not Pacific Standard Time. Wait
a minute. I don't understand. It's just Pacific Time. There is only Eastern.
No. What I'm saying is, you said Pacific Standard Time. This is why Billy has an editor.
Yeah.
It's Pacific Daylight Time right now.
Right. It is Pacific Daylight Time. Okay. So it is Pacific Daylight Time. Okay.
We're confused enough about the time. We don't need to make it worse.
Yeah.
Well, and what's really confusing is that Southern Idaho is on Mountain Time.
Yeah. That's true.
So
it's one of the states that's split.
Yeah.
And then in daylight time, Indiana is split.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think we should just do away with it all.
It's just so much fun to see you struggle with it that I don't want them to do away with it.
Thank you. Oh God, it's so frustrating. Anyway, so Jennifer, I'm sorry if I rushed you on. I wanted to accommodate you with the kids coming over for dinner and all. And even Debbie's like, I think Idaho's, she said she's on Pacific Time. She goes, that's 3 hours different from us, not 2. And I'm like, oh. So, but I let everyone know that we're launching at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So I guess I had to go live. And again, Jennifer, I'm sorry to rush you up, but look at you. You're like a pro. You got it right away.
Well, and I was hoping that it would work because you told me to use Chrome, and I was like, I can't. I this opened up in Explorer because that's what I was on, and I was like,
okay.
So it works. It works on Explorer. So
well, thank you for joining us, everyone. Please say hello to Jennifer, the trustee of the Rocketeer Trust, and I want to thank you so much for allowing me to do this in the first place, to do the story, not including now, especially this special art edition, which is it's just a dream project for me. And there's something that we're doing with this book too that we're not allowed to say on the crowdfunding campaign or anything like that, but we will take a portion of the proceeds of this and we will be giving it to the Hairy Cell Leukemia Foundation in Dave's name, thanks to you guys with it. But it held up the campaign and then I had to restructure because I mentioned that on the campaign, and Debbie's like, you can't do charitable things on that. So just another thing we just wanted to do some good. But Jennifer, tell us about yourself. Where you grew up. I like I said, as everyone knows, one of my comic book heroes are Dave Stevens, Joe Kubert, and Stan Lee. Those are my three comic book heroes. But your brother, who I was fortunate to become friends with, I guess after I stalked him for a while, because I hit him up at San Diego Comic-Con in '94, and he was at his booth, and I'm like waiting online with everybody else. I'm like, hey, oh my God, you're the greatest. He's like, whoa. But he was so gracious and so cool. And then I got to meet him through Johnny K and a bunch of other comic creators that they knew I wasn't some random nut, that I actually was a bona fide, illustrator too. And it was great. And I remember I had asked him to contribute to Senryaku, but he was just so behind on a couple of this is in 1995. We did a book that had all the top artists in comics doing the 36 stratagems of the Chinese art of war with my character Shi. And right off the bat, I even had the notes like Dave Stevens, and he's like, I need a year. I just can't do it. I'm like, whatever your price is. He goes, no, I understand that. I appreciate that. But I promised these people these things first. So I have to do these people's, these other people's project before yours. And I'm like, all right, another time. But
I will say he turned down an awful lot of people. So don't take it personally. Yeah, there were a lot of people lamenting that they missed out, but that was kind of Dave. So
yeah, well, the thing is that we had him in our lives. I mean, it's the loss of your family doesn't compare to the art world or the fandom that we're a part of. But if you could tell us a little about yourself, Jeff and I may have some questions about you and talk about things about your brother and how he came to create the Rocketeer, and then how that took off, and what was like for you to see your big brother all of a sudden there's being a movie made of his comic book. Like, were you into comics? Did you know he was into this stuff? And did you get it? So just curious if you can.
That's a million questions.
I just asked you a million questions at once. Right? Yeah, can you help?
Okay. So what was the first one? I'm lost.
Okay. So tell us about you, how you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't mind, maybe what your big brother was like. You said that great photo of us with you guys at some Western thing or something with these pinup statue girls, or
that was actually Knott's Berry Farm. And you could sit there and pose with these statues, and he had to ham it up and try to kiss one, and and as a fifth grader going into sixth grade, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Yeah, he was always he was so much older than me. He was always more like the fun uncle rather than a brother. But yeah, he was always entertaining. He was my entertainment. Whenever he was around, I was entertained. There was never any dull moment when Dave was around. So, and the Stevens family has kind of straddled California and Idaho since the 60s. So Dave and I were both living in Boise. He lived in Boise in the 60s. I lived in Boise in the 70s and 80s. And that was kind of, I think for both of us, that we have just this affinity for Boise. It's just such a cool place to live and to grow up. And then I've been in California for 30 years, and now I'm back in North Idaho. So, growing up with Dave. No, I was not really into comics, but he would send me stacks of Laugh Olympics comics from Hanna-Barbera that I still have someplace. So as far as comics, that was about the only thing that I read, was because he sent them to me. I was very aware of the Rocketeer and him drawing that. I mean, I would watch him draw it on our dining room table when he'd come to visit for Christmas. Wow. So yeah, that was you know, and I lament that no one took pictures of him drawing, because yeah, that was family history right there. None of us knew it, but that was huge. Yeah. So yeah, growing up, we had a really odd relationship because he was in LA, hours away from us, either in Central Valley, California or Boise. And so our relationship consisted of a lot of phone calls during the month and Christmas. Like literally, I'd see him once a year for most of my growing up because we lived so far apart and he was always too busy to take time off work. So he'd bring work up and work at the dining room table. And that was our unorthodox relationship. Was he was the fun uncle, and I saw him once a year.
Now, do you remember when he wanted to get into comic books and started to actually work in comics? Because I know he was doing animation, right? Was he doing animation or some kind of illustration for film? Wasn't he working in film or something before that?
He was doing a lot of stuff. Well, he was doing the Tarzan dailies in the mid-70s.
Wow.
And then he was working at Hanna-Barbera. And then he was doing like storyboards and just a lot of odds and ends advertising when the Shanis brothers asked him to do the Rocketeer. So yeah, he was into a lot of stuff in the midst of the Rocketeer. So
I remember when the ad first appeared for the Rocketeer, it was a back cover on one of the Pacific comic books from the Shanises, and you just knew it was going to be something. It was one of those. I was working at Lone Star Comics in Arlington, Texas at the time, and we all stopped. You know, everybody had to look at that, and it was just an ad.
Yeah, well, and it was such an amazingly laid out ad. You know, you have this huge. I mean, this was the one with the Rocketeer and all the people underneath him, right? Yeah. I mean, you have this massive Rocketeer, and then all the little people, all the supporting characters underneath him, and it's like you knew immediately what the story was going to be like, just based on the bad guys.
It had an incredible vibe. To me, it was like one of those things. Like literally, I can remember. I mean, I'm describing. I remember where I was when I saw an ad. Wow. That the impact of that's just something else.
Wow.
Oh, this has got to be it right here. Let me. I think I found it. Oh, this looks badass. If this is it, I want to share this. Hang on. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that. Oh, I would 100% if I had seen that with the GB Racer, and just look with Betty Page and Tommy Guns and
And first off, if you've got any feel for history, if you've got any feel for the pulp serials, and the adventure comics, whether you're talking, Terry and the Pirates or whatever, you just immediately go, and then on top of it, the clean line work, the lettering style, the logo style, everything else, and it's just like you just can't wait. And it was at a time where comics were going to just about to get really exciting, because what the Shanis brothers were doing with creator ownership was really changing a dynamic. And here they've taken it from its being exciting because of the creators that they were talking about. Obviously they led with Jack Kirby and Neil Adams. So that was exciting because of the creators. This is exciting because this is really cool. I don't know who Dave Stevens is.
Yeah.
This is just exuding cool.
Just stunning. It's
well said.
It's just stunning. Again, everything about it. When I saw I had the same feeling as both of you guys did. Like, this is going to be big. this is just the coolest thing I've ever seen. Because, I love those Saturday morning serials. We would get them on VHS and watch them, with Captain Marvel and, King of the Rocket Men, the same thing, and how he just perfected it. And it's just all the things. And when Debbie comes up, she'll let you know, it's all the things I love. Like Jeff's been to my house, so I have all this old stuff. We have an old Victorian, but I love, smoking my pipe and, drinking my whiskey. And I love, guns and things and the 40s. And I love World War II. I'm a student of that, a student of history. And this just hit all the right buttons. Like I said, I wish I could wear a jacket like that and wear jobbers and boots. And
Nothing's stopping you, man.
This is true.
Maybe I could have been I could have became a dandy in my 20s, like when she first came out 30 years ago. But
Jennifer, are you surprised at all? Obviously, I'm sitting here gushing about it, and I could do pretty much an hour on that. I have purchased. I've purchased this in every iteration that Dave's work has come out in, whether it was the original individual comics, the graphic novel from Eclipse, the collections, the IDW stuff, the artist edition. Every time it comes out, I buy it again. It doesn't matter that I know exactly where they are. I don't have to go hunt them. They're on the shelves. There's something about this that is just so cool. What's been your experience meeting other professionals that are talking the same way that Billy and I are talking?
Yeah, about the same. Like it doesn't matter. They want everything that's available. They want whatever form, whatever they want, whatever's out there to collect, they want it. It doesn't matter. They just want every itty bit, which I find funny because I don't collect a whole lot of anything. I did as a kid, but now, I think what killed it for me was just inheriting all of Dave's stuff, like literally his whole estate, everything in his house. And he was just a mad collector of everything. So it's like, I have no desire to collect anything because I have all of his stuff still. But yeah, I get a lot of the same.
What's funny for me is I'm sort of, I'm at a point where I'm picking and choosing what I collect.
Mm-hmm.
It's a space issue. It's the realization, like, is this something that I really need, or is this something for my nephew to get rid of when I'm gone? And yet the Rocketeer stuff still seems to be an automatic impulse buy. It's weird. It's weird when you're analytical about it and something still connects on that level.
Yeah, the pins are great. And I want to go to the website too, so people see the DaveStevens.com website with all the cool stuff you guys have. After I saw you, Jennifer, in San Diego, and thank you for the pen. I think you gave me a pin and a pen. I went out and I bought more, or Debbie bought more pins for me because she knows Billy, I adore the Rocketeer.
Before you go to Dave's website, I do want to tell you you're at 500%.
No way. Oh, let's see. Jennifer, let's look at the campaign because we did launch it. So let's let me go share the screen.
Already 500%?
Yeah, that's
wow. That's fantastic.
Oh boy, thank you guys. $2,500. Thank you so much. We had asked for $500 because if we're going to print 5 of them, that's 10 of them, 20 of them. That's enough. Again, this is a super limited campaign. It's only 21 days. It's just something for us to get out there to you. Something that I'm so proud of, this project. And again, Jennifer, thank you so much. It's a dream project for me. And then if I can share, my roughs and my whole creative process, I have the script, I have my roughs, I have the pencils, the inks, the wonderful colors by Brian Miller, the amazing design and lettering by Mindy Lopkin and Niall Scala. And it was just just a great project for a great cause. This was originally the original short story was printed in the Comics for Ukraine Sunflower Seeds book, which benefited the refugees of the Russo-Ukrainian war. It's nothing political. It's just
that's one of the big things about that project that really helped its appeal was it's not getting political. It's saying let's help these refugees.
Yeah, these poor displaced people, for which is of no fault of their own, and I think Scott was able to raise through was Operation USA something like $200,000. You guys, the fans out there, raised for it, and we're going to cover them in the book as well. Like to do an interview with Scott and to talk about it was done through Zoop, so I'd like to mention Zoop. I'd like to mention Operation USA, and we'll add that information to the book as well. But let's go, Jennifer, if that's okay. Let's go to your website and let's talk about it. And if you don't mind talking about the trust a little bit, the Rocketeer Trust, and all the cool things you guys have, and that you're carrying on and continuing Dave's legacy. And thank you all for, like I said, we're over $2,500 in, I don't know, what are we, first half hour? Thank you guys. That's
really, it literally funded when we came on.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
And
great. Thank you to all our backers for doing that. But let's get into that and talk about your page.
So I will, well, it's not mine. I will hands down say this is not my doing at all.
You mean you're not a big tech guru? You can't build websites and do all that?
None of this is mine. Nope. No. Before Dave died, this was probably the mid 90s, maybe early 2000s. A guy named Tom Ranheim, who lives out of Norway, contacted Dave, and he's a super huge fan, and he asked if he could make a website for Dave. And it's got all the, right now he has morphed it multiple times. And, right now the front page has, what's up for sale and what's current as far as merchandise, and then you've got all of the, it's a very comprehensive list, like your checklist of all, if you are a Dave Stevens fan, this is kind of the be all end all for checklist of everything that you're going to want that Dave had published. So, so it's a pretty valuable website as far as for collectors who are looking for, what am I missing? And he's done a great job.
Cool.
Just so great. I want to just go on, like his gallery. He really is one of, in my opinion, he is one of the greatest artists of the 20th and 21st centuries. He really is. Is this working? Is it sharing? Okay, good. Perfect.
I was looking at a Facebook post yesterday of a guy who was just posting Dave's non-Rocketeer covers from comics. And it struck me that I either have had all of them, because it was just his covers.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, 3 inches by 5 inches. That's it, with all that detail, and that's cow.
That was how he rolled.
Extraordinary. Let me see. We got a question. Mark Zutkoff. Hey, Mark, you were here, one of the first people in. Thank you. Just to be clear, the pledges are all physical copies of the book, right? They say includes a digital copy. That's in addition to the physical, right? So yes, we should have a perk, a digital version of it, because a lot of people do live in Europe. They live in Australia, and it's just so expensive to ship it. The shipping costs are crazy going overseas. So some people just want a digital version, and that's very inexpensive. But if you do get a physical copy, if you do get a physical perk, either you get any of the things we're offering, even the She stuff. I added She stuff on there too. If you scroll down, there's also some She specials for people who might have missed our campaigns, because the way the Kickstarters work, they're only $21 30 days, 28 days is what we do, and then it's over. So we're offering a second chance for people that might want she stuff. But if you do get it, you get anything on this campaign, even if it's a she thing, you will get a digital copy of the.
But he's asking to make sure that they're getting physical copies, and so unless they specifically select just the digital, they're getting physical.
Yes.
Hmm.
But yeah, 100%. So let's see. Let's go. Let's see if I don't want to lose this. Let's see if it's. Oh, good. I got it. Okay, perfect. Do you have any of this art?
Let's see. I have the Betty Magnet. I do not have that one.
It's just
So the bottom left, I have.
this one.
Yeah.
Now, is that airbrushed and paint? Do you know? I mean,
I think it's gouache. It could be airbrush. I'm not positive, but it is incredible. Like there's not a single flaw. I don't know how he did it. But yeah, it's fantastic.
just
And
how
then
amazing.
with this one, it was a Betty Page magnet set. So it's a dress up set, and all of the clothing that goes over her is just perfect. All the folds in the gloves, and oh, it's amazing. It's quite something.
And he did, because he's the one who really brought Betty Page back into the
Yes.
the eye of pop culture, and resurrected this extraordinary creature that she was, and just made her like she's up there with Marilyn Monroe pop wise, and that is directly due to your brother. And then your brother was able to meet her, right? Like he found her.
Mm-hmm.
And helped her and started to get her royalties and things for things that, you know, for her image, that these people were using it. And as Brian Blevins had asked, one of the producers here and the producer of the book, did you ever get to meet Betty yourself?
I wish. Yeah, no. And the funny thing is, one of Dave's best friends, they used his truck to buy her a Christmas tree one year. And the best friend driving the truck with the tree in back did not even get to go up to the door.
Oh, really? Oh, she was that. Right. Now, again, because I remember seeing interviews with her and she was blacked out, but I guess maybe because she wanted to preserve that image of what she.
Yeah, I mean initially that's what she said, was that she didn't even want any pictures with Dave because she wanted to be remembered the way she was. So she and Dave never had any photos taken together. Interestingly, she was at the Playboy Mansion at some point after she'd been rediscovered that she was still alive. And there is a picture on the internet of her with gray, salt and pepper, gray hair, same bangs, looks the same. She's just older, flanked by two Playboy playmates. So at some point she changed her mind. I don't know. Maybe they kind of talked her into the picture. I'm not sure, but yeah. So no, never met her. Unfortunately, that would have been really cool.
I would love to be that, like how your brother was able to track her down. Like, I got a funny story with me. Like, so I'm a self-professed stalker, I guess, but the people I stalk were World War II veterans. And I remember Debbie came down in the kitchen one time, and I'm like this with a phone book, and I'm writing it in our address book. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." It's like, "What are you?" It's like, "Let me," and I'm writing Gabby Gabreski, who was the Europeans, the top fighter ace of the European theater during World War II, and he lived on Long Island. So I'm writing his name down, and it's like, "You're stalking these World War II veterans," and I'm like, "Well, I figured I don't know. Figured I'd call him, see if he wants to go to lunch or something like that." And I never did. And he ended up. So I had met somebody who knew him, but it's weird how people that like World War II veterans, right? A lot of like these guys that became like with Dick Winters from Band of Brothers and all, they became very protective of them because they didn't want anyone else to. They wanted to be their friend. In a way, it's really weird. And they're like comic collectors, but they collect World War II paraphernalia. So I'm like, dude, just let me give him a call. I gotta say, he's like, don't call him. He doesn't like that. I'll set up a time to introduce him, blah, blah, blah. And you could take him to lunch and all this stuff. And it was all because the guy didn't want Gabby Gabretzky to like me better, say. So Gabby Gabretzky passed away, and I went to his funeral, and I saw his daughter. And I went up to her and I told her the story. I said, you think my wife thinks I'm nuts and all this. And I was young. I was maybe 32, 33 when he passed away. And I'm like, and I just wanted to call him because I would have loved to just take him to lunch one day. And his daughter's like, you should have. She goes, because my mom passed away like 10 years ago. And unless he was alone. He would have loved that for someone to call him. So that was, my lesson.
So what the lesson here is, if you're a stalker, go ahead and call that person.
Yeah, stalk.
All right, Jennifer and Billy, I have to cut out.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for helping me.
I'll drop you in the private chat. If you guys are still on, I'll be back.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, we'll go for a bit.
And
I know, Jennifer, like I said, you've got family stuff going.
Listen, I got to say, I'm really excited about this so far. Last time I checked, you're at 2785.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is going great, as it should. And Jennifer, we met last year at San Diego at dinner with Billy and Aaron and Debbie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I just want to say, nice to see you again. And thanks for coming on about this. And thanks for giving Billy your blessing on doing it.
Sure. My pleasure.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye-bye, buddy. I'll actually call Debbie and see if she can come up here. But anyway, this was a commission, I think, right, Jennifer? Do you know? Yeah, private commission.
Yeah.
Golly, just. And you look at it, it would be like one of the greatest Batman covers of all time.
It would have, yeah.
Yeah, like, so I had Dave. There's a story that Dave and I had approached him with a Captain America story I had with the Rocketeer, and he loved it, but he was very trepid. What is it? Trepid about dealing with Marvel Comics because Marvel had tried to sue him when he created the Rocketeer. And it was about it because they had some villains, I think, on one page or in one issue in the early 70s called the Three Rocketeers.
Yeah.
And they went after your brother. And I think your brother had to end up spending like $10,000 or more of his own money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they, and your brother wasn't feeling well at the time. And your brother's like, I don't want to talk to them. So I was talking to Marvel about it. And they were like, well, we just want to talk to Dave. Let us talk to Dave. Like, Dave wants, if you can give him one letter, one on company letterhead that Marvel does recognize that Dave Stevens is the sole owner of the Rocketeer, because they went away when Disney got involved. Obviously, that's what kind of, but there still never was any closure to that officially, and it pissed me off. It upset him, obviously, pissed him off, and they were like, no one's going to, Billy, we do recognize that. Whoever was there at the time that did that, they're no longer with the company. And we want Dave to do some covers for us. We'd like for them to, and I'm like, Dave doesn't want to do covers for you. Dave, I'm sure Dave will do covers for you once you recognize that he, that any lawsuits, anything was dropped about this. And, They refused. And I remember the guy got mad at me. He's like, well, Billy, you just don't want us to talk to Dave Stevens because you want to do these covers. I'm like, this is 2006. I'm like, what? I do enough. I'm already behind on what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't, but that's how just the jerks they were about it. And it was such a great story. And that's when Dave also told me about his story that he had pitched DC Comics that involved Superman and the Rocketeer. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I'm sure you are. That all takes place around Orson Welles's
The War of the Worlds. Yeah.
War of the Worlds. I think it was October 30th, 1938. The broadcast that sent shockwaves throughout the Northeast. And what a great story. And I'm just wondering, do you know the story behind that, or like, how does something that great not happen?
Well, I think at the time, DC was a little concerned about getting into trouble using War of the Worlds.
Mm.
It wasn't so much about the mashup with Superman and Rocketeer. It was more the Orson Welles portion of the story that they were a little leery of including or trying to get rights to. Yeah, and I think at this point, the Rocketeer is not a big enough character for them to
have to deal with the Wells estate. Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, even now, I don't think that they would. Yeah. So.
Oh, what a shame! What a great. So I remember Dave was telling me and how they both get there at the same time or something, and it's like the greatest comic story that you've never read.
Yeah.
And not dissimilar to our story, because our story would have worked with Batman as well, and it was called Lights, Camera, Batman, say, and it was a fun story, and but that's comics. If I told you some of the stories of some of our friends, they'll blow you away, and through one reason or another, you know, when you deal with these corporations, with these, you know, with these publicly owned, I mean, these not publicly owned, these corporate owned characters, it's the one thing that we have to learn as creators is that they're not our characters. You may love Superman, but Superman's not your character. DC Comics owns Superman, and they'll tell you that. And, you know, Jack Kirby said that, you know, comics will break your heart, and it's stories like that. That's what it is, because you fall in love with these characters and you want to do something, and then either one person or someone up there in the corporate chain, yeah, nah. I was like, oh,
yeah, and that's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
It's not about the fans.
Yep, it's business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, you know, I'm lucky, I'm fortunate, because I have you know, and we have my character, and that I'm fortunate to become friends with you, that you are the trustee for the Rocketeer, that you allowed us to do this in the Sunflower Seeds book, and now also in this special little art book. It's, for me, I just want to let you know that really it's a dream project for me, and I want to thank you for that. And something here I have, see this little guy? I'm gonna go big on me real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
This is something cool, and they drive my wife crazy and terrify her. But every campaign I do, and we've done, I think, 8 Kickstarters already and Indiegogo campaigns, is I have this is a little. His name is Bodhihara, and what this is, let's see if I can focus on him. It's called a Daruma doll, Jennifer. So let me see if I can stop screen, and I'll go big, and so you're still on screen with me. Hang on. Okay, good. There you go. So see that what this guy is right here. This is something in Japan, and what this is, it happens every December in Japan, and it goes through March. And what it is that it's Bodhihara, and it is a little doll that represents Bodhihara, who was an Indian Buddhist priest who actually found enlightenment, right? And now they do this thing in Japan that you get. It's huge. They got massive size. I got big ones. I got little ones. And our house, they're taking over our house. But what it is that you get this little Bodhihara, and you fill in. You make a wish, right? You have a goal set in mind, and you fill in his eye. And if you look, see, it's white. The eyes are white. Mm-hmm. And then when you fulfill that goal, then you fill in the other eye, and he helps you make your wish come true. So I have this little Bodhihara. So he's the one for the Rocketeer. And I have a goal in mind that we can get funded and all. And it looks like we're well on our way, Jennifer. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. But let's go even. And okay, so I want to ask you about, now you're not a comic fan. You know, your brother is this brilliant, really cool older brother, uncle type, even, mm-hmm. that Christmas time and phone calls and letters and stuff. But what was it like when he told you guys that they were making a movie off of his comic character?
Honestly, they had been pitching it for so many years. It was like, finally, let's
really?
move on. Yeah. It just become almost, you know, it was just something that was kind of talked about on most phone calls, and yet nothing was panning out. And so, Yeah, it was more like, it was just kind of like, okay, cool, let's move on now.
Yeah.
It was almost like this anticlimactic moment.
You're like, finally.
Yeah.
Now, did you get to see the theater? Did you guys go to the premiere or anything like that? And what was that like?
That was pretty fun. It was not a super formal one. I mean, I think they did have a red carpet. We did get picked up in a limo, so it was my parents and I and Dave and the woman, Jewel Shepard. He was dating her at the time, so the 5 of us were in the back of a limo, and we got there, and it was at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood. And it was super fun, real casual event. They had a huge like carnival out in the street. So the whole street was blocked off, and there was like a little circular roller coaster, and there were like carnival games, and it was just a really fun atmosphere. Premieres are interesting culturally, just watching one, because as soon as the credits start at the beginning of the film, film by Joe Johnston, everybody starts clapping. So everybody claps after every single name,
Right.
So that was kind of a cool, different, something that most people never would understand or, experience. It was just a fun theater. Actually, we sat right behind the guy who played MacGyver. So there were a few celebrities in there. It was fun, And then they had like a little casual after party a few doors down. And that's where we met Billy and Jennifer and some of the other cast and crew. So it was just kind of a fun thing, once in a lifetime,
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember, so I went to go see it in the theaters. I saw it the opening night here on Long Island where I live. And I just loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be. I love, like you said, a film by Joe Johnston, how it opened with the black screen, and all of a sudden you just see them opening the hangar doors, and just what a great way. And even the way it ended, I guess I'm a sucker for the old fashioned things too. And I just loved how it ended, with PB getting the plans.
Oh yeah.
That Jennifer had swiped, and then them just kissing, where he gets the GB racer with his name, and he's like, well, so she's like, what was it like to strap that rocket on your back and fly like a bat out of hell or something? He goes, I think it's the closest thing I'll ever get to heaven, Mr. Hughes. And then he looks over, and there's Jennifer Connelly there, and he goes, oh, maybe not, It was so great. And then as the cat, as the crane pulls out, and you see the kids running around, the girl with the bucket on her head, like Rocketeer rescue. Like that's how films should be, and it was such a great experience, and that's why it's still adored to this day. And I remember you told me a story, and if it's okay to say, if not, about when they had the anniversary premiere that your mom went with you.
Yeah.
And we met you, Debbie and I met you at Sandy. I don't know if you remember meeting us. And you told us that story, and we were both walking, just crying and all. But if you maybe tell the people watching out there about that experience, because it's pretty extraordinary.
For the D23 20th anniversary.
Yeah. Yes.
So my mom and I had driven down to LA to attend the D23. And so it was just kind of a cool little after party that we went to. My mom had Billy Campbell's ear for quite a while, which was cute. Tiny Ron was there. They were just, and quite a few of Dave's friends. So she met a lot of Dave's circle, which was really nice. And just people were chatting her up, and it was just a nice, sweet time for her. And we drove home the next day, and we're tired. We went to bed, and the following morning I noticed that the phone was ringing and she hadn't answered it. We were all living in the same house at that time because we were adding on to our house so that she could move in with us, because she was in the very early stages of dementia, and she really should not have been living alone.
Sure,
so I noticed the phone was ringing and she didn't pick up, and so I went into her bedroom and found her. She had died in the middle of the night at some point. We figure she probably had a heart attack. But yeah, it was just kind of what a way to end your life, you know? Yeah, just on a good note. So.
Yeah, it really it's you know, so sorry for your loss, but I remember you told us that, and it was just like it's so fitting, you know, to be celebrated like her son, you know, her son being celebrated like that, and then doing this, going on this little adventure and seeing, you know, the reaction at the theater and everything like that, and then having the night out at the party, the get together. I mean, it's really struck me, and it still does, and that's why say hi, honey. Want to say hi to Jennifer?
Hey, Jen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. I'm doing good. Yes.
We were just talking about when we met Jennifer, and she told us about the film when they had the 20th anniversary, when they went to see that and all, and her mom had passed away the next day after that amazing night, and it's just. It's an incredible story, and I wish I got to meet your mom. I'm so honored that I got to meet your brother, and it just like I said. How does the Rocketeer, if I may, and her and Dave, the influence on my life?
Oh, good God!
That's
I don't even know how to quantify that.
I mean, he's my favorite artist.
For as long as I know Billy.
Yeah.
And that's a long friggin' time.
I went to see the movie by myself. I think she was working in the city. Yeah, you always worked in the city after college.
I'm always working.
Yeah, and it was it. And I went to go see by myself the first night it opened. Because I'm like, I got to see this movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, especially since you saw the comic book, you know, of course you had to go see it. Yeah, definitely. So,
but I was telling her, you know, how I gushed over Dave all the time, and the conversations we'd have on the.
I'm sure you've talked about this already, but what were the chances that you were next to, why am I blanking, Billy Campbell on when you went to, forget it.
Yeah. Oh,
and back then, you know how expensive phone calls were from Europe?
Yes.
Now it's nothing on but back then I was getting a phone call a day to tell me everything that Billy Campbell said, everything that Billy Campbell did. And I'm like, you're losing all the money you're making over there, calling me to give me play-by-play.
But here's the thing, Jennifer, here's the thing. I was not calling from my phone.
No, he was calling from Billy Campbell's phone. I totally forgot that.
That's right, because Billy's phone can get called to the United States. This is like a long time.
I totally forgot about that.
2000 and...
Why do I always get
look at her. Look at her. She's spinning around.
So he gives me super tall chairs that I can't reach them.
Because you're small.
Yes,
SMR.
I am SMR.
So, and I emailed Billy last night. You got the email, right? So hopefully he'll get back to us. I know he's overseas, but maybe we can get that to work out, because he was supposed to come on.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, he was supposed to come on the show in during COVID, and it was summertime, and he had young kids. He's like, oh, the kids are off, and maybe when they start going to school, I can do that. But how COVID everything was just messed up, and I didn't want to bother him at all. But I was sitting at the bar. I think this is how I met him, and it was the European Rugby Championships, and it was pouring out. So we're at the hotel at this London convention in Dockings, Dockings, same.
No, it wasn't London.
It was London. No, it was London. It was yes, it was London. It was definitely London. So
I thought it was
because it was England versus France in the Rugby Championship. So I'm at the bar, because I was with the Brits.
I wasn't there.
No, you weren't
there. But I thought it was the one.
And
you went to with your mother, Belgium.
No, it was London. So I'm sitting there at the bar, right, with two British retailers, right, and I'm like, this is the greatest sport I've ever seen in my life. Rugby's like football the way it should be. So all of a sudden, this couple comes in, so this beautiful woman sits next to me, and then this tall guy, and I'm like, it's Billy fucking Campbell. And I'm like, sorry. And I'm like, I think I might have said that. Whoa, wait a minute. And he's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm one of the comic book guests I'm one of the cartoonists. And I'm like, dude. And he was the nicest guy in the world.
Very gracious.
It's so gracious. And it's like, real? I'm like, dude, you were awesome. And so we end up, he played rugby and he loved rugby. So he was telling me all about the sport. And I think we switched places. His wife went on the other side and we were just watching the game. And it was great. And then I'm like, I got to call my wife. He's like, well, you can use my phone. I called her, use it on Billy Campbell's cell phone. How about that? But it was funny. He's like, so then now we're at the Comic-Con, so all the other comic book people come in here. I think it was the day before the show started or something. So we were on the bar and now people start recognizing me and stuff like that. So, people are buying us beers. And then he goes, and his favorite character is the Rocketeer, and I'm the Rocketeer. So it was fun. We had a lot of fun. And it was great. So hopefully he'll get back to me and remember me and not think I'm a nut like everybody else does. Present company included, I'm sure. And just no, I'm not. So a question for you, for the people out there, and I don't know if you know this or not, but if we go to Dave's page, and in the Rocketeer book is how he brought Betty Page to the forefront of pop culture and really turned her into an icon. What was the deal with why the Betty character became Jenny in the movie? Do you know why they did that, or
kind of at the point where the script was still Betty, they were not even positive if she was alive yet. I think it was quite a few years after the movie came out that they found out that she was indeed alive. So I think there was kind of a liability there of calling her Betty and making her kind of, Betty Page in the public. Yeah, I think it was a legal issue that they didn't want to have to. And when they decided that they could probably turn this into a kids movie, they had to sanitize the character. So that was kind of a twofold. We don't know if this person's alive. Kids movie, sanitized, so we can have lots of toys. And that's kind of where they went with the movie, was aiming more at kids than adults. And yeah.
Well, it's Disney, so that I guess that makes sense in a way. Because David told me that Jennifer would have loved to play the Betty. She's like, she would have played the Betty part. She would have done that, And he said she would. I've never met Jennifer Connelly, but I'm like, damn, that would have been something to see that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to tell everyone that they said, well, we need to name this character Jennifer. And you're like, well, and Dave said, well, my sister's name is Jennifer. And that's exactly, whether you like it or not, that's how she became Jenny in the movie.
No, not even close.
We're going to cut that out. We're going to cut.
Wants that.
Yes. And I think we all want that to be.
Yeah, it's funny. I have so many people ask me that, and it's like, are you kidding me? No. Not even close. Nope. Yeah, no, I think whoever at that point said they needed to sanitize it, that was kind of a popular old timey name, so that's what they went with. So,
well, we have Jennifer. What time do you have to go? Because I know you have company coming.
Yeah, it's still only 3 here, so we have a little while longer.
Okay, well, let's go check out the campaign, because we're doing pretty good. Honey, look at this.
I'm very pleased.
We're doing really good.
Excited.
Wow. Look at us. We're over $3,000. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Honey, you want to go through it? Do we have a digital? Someone is asking about a digital perk.
It's there. Or did I not put it in?
I don't think you have a digital. There's no digital.
Okay, I can add it right now.
Go at it.
I'm going to go add it. Bye.
All right. So we've got a lot of fun perks. This is, of course, the original art edition, which is with the purple, with the rocket, and with the beautiful colors by Brian Miller, who colored the Pavlichenko story. That's one of the pages of it. There's you. Look at cute you look there, Jennifer. You and your brother. What is she? We have a massive shepherd and the most annoying cat in the world.
What is she even doing up here?
The dog is always up here. Oh, the cat? She's getting at my popcorn I was eating.
Sorry,
I was eating popcorn today for lunch. I had popcorn.
up here. She's
It's my studio. I should be able to bring food up here. It's in the garbage. Do you have things like this in your house, or is it just us?
We do have animal drama here too. Yes, definitely.
And the poor dog, all she wants to do is play with the cat, and the cat just hates her. But the cat is ravenous about food. This cat ate so we got Chinese food last night. So I thought I put everything away, but I left the bag of, when you get wonton soup, the noodles that are like dry and you put them in there.
Yeah.
She ripped that bag apart, the cat, and ate all the noodles. Like if you leave a bag of potato chips on the table, she will rip open she knows it's potato chips or popcorn, and she will rip it open and spend all. She's this fat asshole of a cat that will just eat she'll eat anything. If you have a salad, she had a salad. We left a salad out one night, and she ate the friggin' salad.
She has an eating disorder then, huh?
Yeah, she sure does. So anyway, so with this book, we've got a lot of cool things on it. A lot of my roughs are here. So the rough pages of this is basically when I'm telling the story. Even when I write it, I do little notes and things like that, little thumbnails and all. Yes, she was a street cat. Yes, she was a street kitten. She's a Brooklyn cat. So we adopted her. That she was and she just, I guess, has this fear of starving. But we got her when she was like 7 weeks old. So and she's been fed. She's a spoiled brat. Anyway, so I got a lot of my cool roughs, and then of course my inks. And introducing Lyudmila I can't say her name.
Pavlichenko.
Say it again?
Pavlichenko.
I mess it up in the video a lot too. So Lyudmila Pavlichenko was a Ukrainian daughter of a hunter. And her father taught her to shoot very young. Her father was also a veteran of the Russian-Ukrainian War of 1920. And she, when the war came, when the Nazis invaded, she, like everyone else, joined the forces of the Soviet Union, which is crazy because the Ukrainians actually welcomed the Nazis as liberators when they first came in. And then they realized what they were when they started to put them in camps and murdering them and stuff. So Lyudmila, being a hunter's daughter and a hunter herself, joined the Sniper Corps. And she ended up becoming the most, what do we say, notorious, successful? How do we say this? The most.
She was the goat.
She was the goat. Yes, the most adept female sniper of all time. And I'd like to see how many kills Vasily Zaitsev had. I don't know if he had more than her because they retired her. By 1942, she had over 300 kills. And then they took her, they're like, okay, we're pulling you off the line, and made her a hero of the war effort. And she actually made her way to the United States on a war bond tour and met with Eleanor Roosevelt, which, hot damn, there's a great story there, isn't there? World War II with Eleanor Roosevelt and Lyudmila Pavlichenko and maybe Cliff Secord that they have to team up to fight some Nazis trying to, attack. There's just great stories there. But an amazing young lady. She lived a nice, a fine old age. And just great history. Check her out. We're going to write about her. I'm going to do a write-up on her in the story itself. I'm going to do a little biography on her. We'll talk about her. We're also going to talk about Dave, of course, Dave Stevens, the Rocketeer's creator, Jennifer's older brother. And we're going to talk about hairy cell leukemia, which unfortunately took Dave from Jennifer and the world at far too young of an age. It's a terrible disease. And we're going to talk about the Hairy Cell Leukemia Foundation. And what we'll also be doing with this is that we want to give a nice portion of the proceeds to the Hairy Cell Leukemia Foundation in Dave Stevens' name, thanks to you guys, for this book. There's a big thing on davestevens.com. I put a link in the description of this to davestevens.com, and we can go to that and you'll see the page that does talk about it. And it's just like everything else, as the husband to a cancer survivor, it's something that you would never want to wish on your worst enemies. That terrible disease, and it just sucks, and it's just awful. So if we can do a little bit of good with this book too, get out there, get you see that the creative process of how a comic book story is created. Maybe we could do some good with it as well. And we have some fun stuff. So we have the book here itself, lots of cool perks. We did a metal edition. We have collectors, Jennifer, that like these metal editions.
Mm-hmm.
So what they are, I'll grab one. It's really cool. So here's a book of mine. Is what we do is that we have these. Let me see if I can switch this around a bit to make me a little bit bigger. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to get rid of you, Jennifer. Hang on. Okay, we'll do this. So what is these are actual metal. It's actually a metal cover. It's so this is so we're gonna do. We did very limited. They're numbered. They're signed. Something that special collectors like, and it actually, they're not cheap to make. But it's this. I think there's 35 of these available. I think she made or 25. I gotta check. Let me see. Metal edition. It's way down here. Let's go back to normal. Yeah, here we go. The metal edition. So we have some She stuff for the She fans too. If you guys missed our past campaigns, yeah, here it is, the metal edition. There are 35. So we made 35 metal editions. And if you guys could grab that, that's a cool perk as well. But we have regular editions. Something I like because I love black and white artwork. We did this thing. It's called a what do we call it? A silver nitrate edition. Again, limited to what the silver nitrate edition is that it's got this variant cover that harks back to the old black and white serials, and it's just an excuse for me to show my pencils because I really like this piece. And I'm also, for anybody who wants, I'm offering the art too. We put it up there. It's not cheap because I really don't want to sell it, but if somebody wants to buy it, you could buy all 12 pieces of art of the roughs and the black and white pencils and inks. And it's all can be yours. So thank you guys for supporting us. And we're doing pretty good. So let's see where we are. We've been going for over an hour. Oh, Jennifer, $3,200. That's great. Thank you guys. Jennifer, is there anything you want to talk about that we can go to your website and talk about the website or anything that you have going on? You have so much cool things. Through davestevens.com, like you had him at San Diego, a lot of cool little, collector items, things like that. Is there anything you want to talk about, or these cool
real quick? That's kind of related. Up in the top right there is you can sign up for a mailing list, and top right, way up for the.
There you go.
Yeah. You can sign up for a mailing list, and I actually compose the mailing lists, send them to Tom in Norway. He tweaks it and makes it look beautiful, and then he sends them all out. So it's kind of an interesting little partnership that we have. So the website kind of shows some of the current items that are up for sale on that homepage. So there's a fully articulated Rocketeer action figure.
That's what I saw. That's Executive Replicas who just did our She action figures.
Okay.
Is it out yet, the action figure?
No. Well, they did one last year that was Rocketeer and Betty. Mm-hmm. And this year they're doing the Rocketeer and Butch, and the pre-order is ending on the 28th or the 20th, like in the next week or two, for the pre-order for that. And then
9/28 it says. Yep, right there, 9/28.
Okay, there we go. And then the Octo watches are pre-order. They're hoping to ship those starting in October, I believe. And those are some really, really nice watches too. They're definitely built for men. They're large watches.
Yeah. Going to the action figure. This is our She action figure, and I'm gonna stop the screen or I'll just see if I can go bigger real quick. There you go. So I don't mean to take you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. Well, okay. So this is what Executive Replicas does. For those of you out there that may not have gotten the last set with Cliff and Betty, They do an amazing job. The artwork, the design, the actual figures themselves are just striking with all the points of articulation, all the accessories that come with them, and you can't go wrong with it at all.
Yeah. Actually, I'll show you the one. I've got one here.
Yeah.
that they did this year. My box is not entirely closed, but yeah. So this was the box. I think that's the back side. Let's see.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's nice. And then it's got a little Velcro. There we go. So this was the actual. There we go. Oh, my lights are. There you go.
Striking.
All my crazy behind me, but yeah. So it was a nice little box set. So I'm not sure what the box will look like with the Rocketeer and Butch, but yeah, that was a nice one.
Well, they go all out, like you could say, and it's an incredible collector's edition, and it's not very expensive. If I don't know if this will allow me to go, it doesn't go to executive replicas, but I'm going to stop the screen real quick and go to the executive replicas page because it is friggin' awesome. So here it is. Yeah. And I mean, it's got to be like, look at that. I mean, there's got to be, there's over 24 points of articulation with this. And they're only $70. Once this goes on the secondary market, these things are going to be $200. Look at that. The actual, look at Butch. Just awesome. Look at that. What is that, a Coke bottle?
Looks like it, yeah. Not included.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah.
So please, guys, if you can go to, as Marcus Killigrew did, www.davestevens.com. Check out all the amazing things they have on that website. Please sign up for their mailing list. Jennifer really is one of the greats of the industry, one of the coolest people, and especially to keep Dave's legacy alive and the gift that he gave us all with his creativity. It really is a blessing. And I'm going to go here, and I 32 points of articulation for the book, for the toy, for the action figure. Somebody got this TUCCI'S. Okay, so Jennifer, we just shipped out our limited edition action figures. And I signed them all. And TUCCI'S, I saw your action figure was upside down in the box.
Oh, that's
and I know when I signed, I'm like, I wonder who's going to get this one. Because I was going to keep it for myself. But I'm like, that's all right. I think it'll be really cool if someone else gets it. They just put it in upside down. But I wondered who was going to get it because I signed all the boxes, with a paint pen. And well, TUCCI'S got it. So here. Thank you. So guys, we are. Oh man, look at that. We're over $3,500. We just launched an hour ago. About an hour ago. Jennifer, I want to thank you. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you. Are you cooking today?
Well, Jesse is barbecuing, and I'm doing a few side dishes. So
yeah, so you have stuff to do. It's not like your order. Yeah. But I want to thank you for coming on. Hopefully, I don't know if you want to come back. I'm a terrible interviewer, but maybe if I could get, like I said, like JC is really good, but he's got his own things he's got to take care of course. But would love to have you back on. Hopefully Billy will get back to us and we can go on with Billy. We can just reminisce and have a lot of fun with this. We got 20 days for this campaign. I'd love to have you on anytime you want, to even whenever you guys get new stuff that comes out. My partner Niall with our website, he's far better than this at Me Too than I am as well. And we can talk about all the cool things. Maybe we can even just focus on all of your all the stuff with the Rocketeer Trust with DaveStevens.com. Talk about what the trust does, and we maybe do a half hour, 45 minutes on your website, especially when the closeout for the action figure is. That might be a really cool thing, and let's get those numbers up for the action figure on the 28th or the 27th to see what day that falls on. And if you're okay, we'll do a show about the executive replicas figure.
Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, it will have to be much sooner because my son's getting married on the 28th.
Oh, God bless you. Good. Well, if you're free next week, we can do it next week. If you want to come on one day, we do it a Wednesday or something. And I'll get to you after the show, or tomorrow over the weekend. I'll message you and see if we can get you on, and let's talk up some DaveStevens.com, and we'll go back to the website real quick before I let you go. Here we go, and all the great things you guys have to offer, because it really is an amazing website from an amazing creator. We'll talk these watches. That they're pre-ordered, that they're, like you said, they might be shipping next month. You've got prints, Dave's amazing prints. Oh, that's a cool website. This is a great website. I have this print. I have a bunch. I'll show you all the cool stuff I have. Because like I said, I'm your brother's. I'm a fanboy of your brother's. But the collector's pin sets are awesome.
Yeah,
you got a lot of great things, and they're so large and heavy. I'll bring them out because I have my ones from San Diego, and they're like, man, there's a lot of weight to them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, thank you so much, Jennifer, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for coming on. Mark Zukov, congratulations. Let's have Jennifer back on, and we're going to focus sorely on www.davestevens.com. We'll talk about all the cool things you have. I want to thank you for coming on with us for our little launch for our cool little book. I know it's a
congratulations on
thank you. It's not a big sheet. Yeah, and we're off to an amazing start. Oh my God, I was hoping we just make our goal, but this is gonna be a fun little limited book for Rocketeer collectors, if you're Billy Tucci collectors, and hopefully we will be able to do some good with this book as well. And Jennifer, thank you so much. I'll let you go so you can do your thing.
All right.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us. What a great launch. What a great first hour. And let's keep it going. Please pledge if you can. If not, please share. But also, more importantly, go to DaveStevens.com and sign up for their mailing lists. And let's get it going. So, Jen, I'll send us out. And everyone have a great day, a great weekend. I'll come back on tomorrow. I'll stream a little bit, show some of the art. And everyone have a great day. And remember, Rocketeer to the rescue. Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay.
Hey, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.